and transport for Paris. And together with Julien, sorry. So. Okay. Sorry. So together with Julien, we will make a presentation about usage of video analytics and some experimentation we did during the Olympic Games in Paris. And also we'll provide some overview of what can be the next step of video analytics, because as you know, technology is evolving very fast. So we all know about deep learning, machine learning, and current algorithm, but we will try to show you that there are some new models that can really break some specific use case and complex use case. Secondly, I want to welcome also Mr. Redouane Alaoui and Mrs. Iman Khalouki, coming from ONCF. They will provide us a very interesting presentation about drones and drones usage in ONCF. So you will see how drones can help to transform security for the railway protection. Then I would like also to introduce Mr. Patrick Enies, coming from Deutsche Bahn. So he's the security officer of Deutsche Bahn, coming from Germany. And he will provide a very strong presentation about data management and how build, finally, a security intelligence platform. So welcome. And the last presentation will come from ADIF in Spain. It will be carried out by Carlos Freire Coloma. And he will also speak about usage of video analytics to enhance security in stations. So as I said, we will go presentation by presentation, going into each topic. And we will start with RATP to discuss about AI solution for security, so video analytics, basically. And the case study will be about 2024 Olympic Games, which happened in Paris. And then you will have the information about the drones, then the data, and again, one about AI and security in stations. Of course, at the end, you will have the opportunity to ask any questions. And if we have time, we also have some dedicated slots for presentation coming from the major sponsor of the event. So let's start with the Olympic Games. Olympic Games, we already shared some information last year, but we continue to use all the lessons learned from this big event that happened in France last year. As you know, the first topic of Olympic Games was to be able to manage this event and to ensure some seamless and secure transportation for the event. That was the role dedicated to SNCF and the RATP. Both of us, we are the major transport operator in Paris area. And as you will see, we had the opportunity to use a new legal framework in France, and it was basically the first operational experimentation of video analytics that happened in the country. So I will let Julien explain you a bit about some figures about Olympic Games.
Hello, everybody. So you all heard about the Olympic Games, obviously. We've had millions coming from all around the world to attend and enjoy the Paris and, well, the France Olympics, as you can see on the map. Of course, Armand and myself, we will mostly focus on what happened in Paris, but it's not Paris alone, because as you can see on the country map on the lower left, many other big cities of France received this event, and transport service had to be accustomed for all those visitors. So we got all those many people in the Paris metropolitan area, 9 competition cities out there, 8 million visitors, and, well, almost 30 days of Olympic and Paralympic activities. So, of course, SNCF, RATP, and many operators of urban transport in cities out of the capital area adapted transport plans in terms to carry local, mid-distance, and long-distance passengers. So our both companies, we managed to have approximately 5,000 members of our own staff who came voluntarily, being paid obviously, but who came voluntarily out of their office, their workshop, their depots to carry on, green or purple suits in terms to deal with all the great number of people we had. And we had also reinforcement of security staff that was taken, private security and incentive for people not to take their vacation at that time and get a little extra money coming to work more time during the Olympics.
Yes, so as you see, all this work is something we do daily, and of course we have this strategic event, and we have, of course, the obligation to be on time and to be there and to ensure seamless transportation. But regarding the security context, the French government wanted really to ensure a maximum security for the event, and they procured to the police forces, but also for the security forces of SNCF and RATP, the possibility to use some new tools and some artificial intelligence tools for the first time. So they created the first legal framework in France. It was just for experimentation, for sure, but they provided the opportunity during 1 year to run some video analytics experimentation on an operational point of view, meaning so far, before the Olympic Games, we only carried out some technical experimentation of those tools. We did not discover the tools during the Olympic Games. We tested a lot before, but we always stop at the technical point of view, meaning measuring the performance of the algorithm, measuring the performance of the model, just checking if, okay, I want to detect a situation. Is the algorithm working well and really detect? But at none point, we had the possibility to put those technologies directly inside of command and control center. And thanks to the legal framework, we had this opportunity, and we managed to demonstrate, as you will see, that it really brings some efficiency to the command and control center and bring efficiency for the people and the security officer on the field. So here you have actually just an extraction from the legal framework, but it was a good framework, still with a lot of limitation, because we can only use the solution if we had some specific authorization during specific events, meaning we didn't have the possibility to use on a daily basis during 1 year all those technology. We were only authorized to use it when there was a specific event to protect. So, of course, Olympic Games was a big event, and that's the place where we wanted the most to use the solution. And also there was some limitation on the use cases. As you see, there was 8 use cases that were allowed. For the transport area, together with RATP, we decided only to test 4 of those use cases. So as you see, we test the detection of intrusion, the detection of abnormal density of people, the detection of crowd movement, and the detection of abandoned objects. Why didn't we choose to test the 4 others? First of all, because in our station, there is no wrong way traffic. I mean, it's an open area, and there is no specific way to take. So it was useless for us to test it. Detection of fire outbreaks, it's the same. It's very useful in the public spaces, especially when there are some demonstration and when you want to detect some fire in trash bin or things like that. But inside a station, we have a lot of other sensors. So we won't spend a lot of money to detect fire in our station using CCTV systems. For the detection of individual on the ground, it could have been interesting, but as in our station, there are a lot of people sitting on the floor or things like that. We anticipated that it would provide too much false alarm. So also, as it's an operational test, we just wanted to detect true positive. So we didn't do this one. And the last one, detection of weapons, we didn't do it not because it's not interesting. Of course, we want to detect weapons with CCTV systems, but the technology is not mature enough today. That's something we saw when we ran some technical tests. Basically, when you have a smartphone or something like that in your hand, you will raise an alert. So bringing too much false alerts in the command and control center, it won't bring efficiency, but on the contrary, it will just make the video operator not confident into the technology. So how it works, I will go very fast on this one. The idea is we have the CCTV system. In SNCF, we have 80,000 cameras everywhere in France, in the station, in the trains. I think in RATP you have almost the same, something like 50,000 so far, and in the coming year, the double. Just the thing we did, we selected some cameras where we wanted to put analytics, and we just bring some computer powers, meaning GPU cards, to make some analytics, and to just raise some alerts directly to the video operator. The important point here is that it was an operational test, meaning we managed to make the integration of the tool directly into the daily tool used by the video operator, meaning for the video operator, it's a video management system. Well, those solutions were directly integrated. We didn't change the tool of the video operators, just in the same tool, they receive some alerts to raise their attention when we detect a specific situation. So what has been done quickly in France during 1 year, we managed to, at SNCF, managed to run 9 experimentation. We make analytics on 300 cameras and 50 different analytics. The perimeter was wide because we did it in 15 stations. Some are very big stations, like Paris North Station, which is one of the biggest in Europe. And at the total, we managed to have 82 days of operational usage. And in RATP, I'll let you.
So in RATP, well, our work was mostly done on the metro system. So it's a railway, as the SNCF has railways, but it's a metro. So you have much more small corridors, platforms, many stations, lots of video surveillance due to the geography of the place. So you can see that the figures are a bit different, but brings similar results, 14 experimentations, because we were able also to work on several concerts that impacted much more the metro than would have impacted the suburban and area services offered by SNCF. We had less number of analysis, but over more cameras, because we couldn't make more than 300 analysis at a time. So we had done the preparation for more cameras than the analysis we could make, but according to the event, some were done here, others were done at other stations. So that's more than 50 stations under supervision and 63 days of operation usage in total. So here are our common results of SNCF and RATP. So detection of abnormal crowd density. So you have a few selection of pictures taken from our both systems, and we've been very successful on this because the system has worked quite well. We had a few detections that were not good, but for small number. I mean, the brain of the operator, because the human is still there to work, can easily switch with the false positive. Detection of intrusion, well, not too bad, as you can see. Not as good because we have very clear detections on mainline track at Gare du Nord. Down there in the middle of the track at Havre-Comartin. Down on the left, you have a train operator in a very deep part of the metro tunnel, which is detected. But on the other side, either on both systems, we've had detection of intrusions with no intrusions, or down there in this tunnel, down there on the right, just nothing. So, well, not as good, but quite interesting. Abandoned items. We've had a few. You see that we have totally agreed in putting 1 star over 3. So there is still lots of work to do. But we've had interesting ones, including things on the track, or this is a bag with a passenger. So still lots to do. Detection of crowd movement. We wrote almost not evaluated, because we tried it first, and we had once, this is on the RATP system only, it's the only time we managed to get a detection. There was a concert, some people were late, so they started to run more than usual passengers do run. So we had a detection, but we found we had a little too much. We changed the parameter, and from there, 0. So, as we will say in a few minutes, there is still lots to do.
Yes, and when it comes to the operational results, so as you see in the technical results, some use cases are working very well. Some other needs also to continue working on the research and development to ensure that they work well. But still, the very interesting lesson learned on that is that on an operational point of view, it's working very well. Meaning for the use cases that are working, when we introduce it to the command and control center, it was successful. You can see here some numbers. Of course, 12 successful intervention and 27 successful intervention, it can seem to be not that much. But keep in mind that due to the limitation, we can only use the solution, we could only use the solution during the event. And the truth is, during the event, if you have been in Paris during this moment of the Olympic Games, it was just crazy because everything went so well. We had security forces everywhere, meaning we had really not that much incident. So if there is nothing to detect, okay, the solution will not detect it. So that's the result. But when something happened, it's the good news. The solution detected well, and what we managed to do is really to integrate the detection to the command and control workflow, meaning as soon as we have a detection, we have the video operator making the check of the alerts, and if necessary, he sends some security forces to intervene, and it was successful. And the second lesson learned is that our video operators now, at the very beginning, they were a bit worried about this kind of solution, asking, but tomorrow we will be replaced by some artificial intelligence tool. Clearly, the answer is definitely no, you won't be replaced, you just be more efficient. And that's what they felt during the experimentation. They say that bring there a lot of expertise, that bring them a new field of action, and they are really fan of it. They really want to continue on that, knowing that they also fear to be drawn into too much false alerts. So they are just saying, okay, if you ask us to manage 100 alerts each day, it's okay. Please don't come with thousands and thousands of alerts to manage because I won't be able to do it. So yeah, we need to be focused on that, and we need to bring some answer. But for sure, in the coming years, as soon as we're going to have a legal framework for a daily operation, the video operators will be involved, and they are asking us to get this legal framework as soon as possible. Sam, we make some measure, I won't go too fast on this one, but we make some measure on the societal acceptance, because as soon as you talk about video analytics, people heard facial recognition, mass surveillance, and things like that. But the truth is, when you ask to the people in the station, 89% of the people saying, yeah, you need to use this tool. I mean, they all say, even some of the people told us, I don't understand why you are not allowed yet to use this kind of tool, because they all want to feel more secure in the station. So it's really, of course, we have to provide a lot of things to them. We need to provide them information. We need to provide them the possibility to use their fundamental rights of information, rights of opposition, right of modification of data if they want. But as soon as you provide information, it can be deployed without any issue with the people. So now we try to go fast on what are the next steps, because as you see, we have some very good operational results. We want to go further, but still there is still research and development activity to achieve in order to also tackle the most complex use cases. So the first thing we want to do is to industrialize a mature use case, meaning detection of intrusion, detection of abnormality density of people. You see that, it works. So next step is to have a legal framework and to deploy it in our station. Of course, when you want to deploy this kind of tool, artificial intelligence, well, it has a cost, for sure. You need to invest into some server, into calculation power, GPU card, you need to invest in software. So we also need to keep in mind that we won't deploy this technology everywhere and in all the cameras we have, because deploying on 80,000 cameras, I'm not sure that my boss will give me all the money to do that. For sure. But if we do it correctly, we can just select some cameras, select some spaces, and make some link with where are our security officers in the station, because the idea is just to make sure that they can intervene on a wider space. So if I provide them some information on what is happening very close from them, they can intervene. If I get some alerts from somewhere I have no one to make an intervention, it's useless. I'm just losing money by making analytics. So we can have this kind of plan for deployment and for industrialization. The second thing is, what should we do to continue working on the research and development?
So we have three destinations to go, which is first, the onboard AI. So you can see here a video made on Paris Metro train and an image made on a SNCF RER suburban train, where we have been implementing, trying AI on the use cases that were said a bit earlier. The extra difficulty about it is the communication between the train and the track, which is not very easy on railways, and which is even more difficult in a tunnel. And usually metros run in tunnels, right? They do. So we're lucky to be one of the systems which is implementing total automation of lines. So we already have 3 fully automated lines, 1/4 is on the way, and this gives an extra capability of communication between the train and the track. So, nevertheless, before this comes, we still have lots of work in doing research and development on this onboard detection and evaluate and go forward. Next is, the use case approaches, same use case approaches on specifically unattended items. So here you get 2 videos taken at the same place, at the same moment, from the 2 solutions that were implemented in our R&D project. SNCF and ourselves did act. So the goal was there. The goal was to detect an abandoned item. Well, you see, both of them have detected it. But the goal was also to link the person with the bag to go and talk to him gently. Okay, customer care. Sir, you forgot your bag, because we all agree in the fact that 99% and more of the bags have just been forgotten. There's nothing bad about it. So the goal was here. So we got good level of detection, better than the one we got with the official test during the Olympics. Keep that for yourself. But the link between the detection and the bearer, the human that lost it, there is still lots to do. So here you have those 2 videos that illustrate it. And the third and last topic is for Armand.
The last topic, it's about vision language model. So it's a new kind of algorithm model. It's a multimodal model. I'm pretty sure you all have already heard about LLM. So the large language model, which is basically the basis of ChatGPT or Mistral or any chat you can work with. During the last year, we start seeing appearing this kind of new model that basically can make interpretation of everything that is happening on a video. Meaning from this basis, and I will have a video to make an illustration and to explain you what should be done. It's probably the next step of next generation of video analytics, and we hope that using those kind of models, we will be able to tackle any kind of use case. So as you will see in the video right now, if it starts, I think it will start. Or should I click again? Yeah. So you have here an illustration. We run some only technical tests on that so far because there is still a lot of challenge, especially you need a lot of GPU cards to run this kind of model. But as you can see, what we did, we make some simulation into Gardiner Station with some colleague of mine. So we are all consent to display those videos. And you see, we provide the video to the model. The model makes the analytics of the video, so it takes a bit of time, and the processing everything that happened in the video. And then we can start, like in ChatGPT, just making some prompts and asking for a question. So for instance, at some point, we make a simulation of a kind of violent act. So I was struggling with a colleague, so you will see. So I can just write here, so is there someone that seems to be a victim of an aggression? And directly, despite the fact that we have something like 30 minutes of video, it directly finds a good moment where, okay, it's a simulation, but my colleague go on the floor, and so the algorithm managed to detect, yeah, it seems that someone has been a victim of an aggression. But then you will see, we try other kind of use case, or everything based on the same analytics. We try another use case saying, okay, let's find out if the algorithm is able to see if people are running. So we come back to the crowd movement, for instance. So same, we just have to write to the algorithm. So we make a prompt saying, okay, in those videos, do you seem to see that people are running? And same, he managed to find out the moment where we were running on the platform, and it bring it without any false alerts. So that was very, very interesting. Then we're going to have another use case that is very interesting because so far we didn't see any solution that is able to make some detection of theft. It's very difficult, you know, especially when it's pickpockets or something like that. But same, we make this simulation. I try to steal the bag of a colleague, and you will see that if I provide the good information, he will be able to detect the good moment and the moment where I was trying to steal the bag. And then you will see also in the video, we try some other use case, easy one, like people who are greeting together, saying hello or saying, yeah. So just the idea there is to say that in this next generation, the first thing, for sure, this kind of solution, it will really help us to manage for investigation when we have an incident, when we have requirement coming from the police to provide some evidence. Well, you always have hours and hours of video to check before providing the good moment. Well, with that, you just have to, just ask the machine and they will find the good event. And same in the future, because it's not today, because we still need to make some improvements. But in the future, this kind of solution will be able to detect any kind of use case. So for us, it's a new kind of solution we will explore in the coming years, and hopefully it will help us to solve all the technical issues we still have and we demonstrate during the Olympic Games.
And furthermore, it may be more easy to use for forensics.
Yeah.
With less complications, less legal complications in using it for forensics, whether in real time we have lots of very strict rules that apply to us. So we have an interesting future to go forward on this.
Well, thank you very much. So I'll leave the floor to Iman on the red one. So if you want to make a presentation, please. Just Merci à vous pour cette présentation. Alors, mesdames et messieurs, bonjour. Je suis très honoré d'être parmi vous aujourd'hui. Et je voulais m'adresser un remerciement par rapport au comité d'organisation pour leur dévouement, pour leur professionnalisme. Et aussi, je voulais remercier aussi le comité scientifique ainsi pour leur partage et retour d'expérience. Alors, dans le cadre de cette 20e édition de congrès, d'accord. Alors, on va voir comment le drone révolutionne la sécurité ferroviaire. On parle de minimiser les risques, d'accord, mais aussi renforcer la sécurité ferroviaire. Voilà. Alors, dans le plan de notre présentation, alors on va voir qu'est-ce qu'un drone, bon, rapidement. Pourquoi le drone est-il important par rapport à la sécurité ferroviaire? Et quels sont les critères de sélection des drones, des aperçus des projets drones en SCF, et on va conclure par les challenges et les visions futures ou les perspectives. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'un drone? Alors, un drone, c'est un système sur plateforme aérienne. Il est équipé de plusieurs capteurs. Il peut opérer manuellement, semi-autonome comme entièrement autonome. Alors, il est utilisé dans divers ou plusieurs secteurs d'activité pour une finalité ou l'objectif pour
que ce soit l'inspection, la surveillance, la cartographie, les cas d'urgence, mais aussi simplement pour la livraison. Alors, on a plusieurs types de drones. Alors, le premier drone, c'est le drone multitrotteur. Alors, ce qu'on voit, il a des hélices. Alors, surtout, il est utilisé par rapport à sa stabilisation, sa précision. Il est idéal par rapport à l'inspection et la surveillance. Le deuxième, c'est ce qu'on appelle le fixed wing, d'accord, c'est-à-dire à voileur fixe. Il est surtout caractérisé par son longue endurance et son utilisation à grande échelle. Le hybride drone, alors comme son nom indique, il va combiner les caractéristiques de multitrotteur et de voileur fixe. Le quatrième, c'est le drone encagé. Alors, il est entouré par une cage. Alors, cette cage est fabriquée par de fibres ou de plastique dur. Alors, surtout, il est utilisé parce qu'il est très, très résistant par rapport aux collisions. L'exemple, l'inspection sur les tunnels. Et le dernier, c'est le drone in-a-box. Alors, ce drone, il est entièrement autonome. C'est-à-dire qu'on va programmer la mission et il va prendre le relais. Alors, le drone peut être équipé de plusieurs modules. Alors, on a choisi 4 qui sont dans la majorité des cas utilisés. Alors, le premier, c'est le drone RGB. Alors, il va analyser la lumière sur 3 bandes, le rouge, vert, bleu. Il va définir une haute résolution de l'interception de la réalité, bien sûr avec une grande définition des détails. Le deuxième, c'est le module thermique, ou ce qu'on appelle l'infrarouge. Alors, il permet de détecter la température que ce soit les zones, que ce soit les équipements. Elle est sûrement utilisée dans le mode nocturne ou dans l'obscurité. Le troisième, c'est le LiDAR, Light Detection Engine. Alors, il va modéliser la scène en 3 dimensions. Il va créer une nuage de points sur ce qu'on appelle l'équipement ou la zone inspectée. Et voilà, il va dissocier l'objet. Le quatrième, c'est le multispectre. Alors, par rapport à son module, elle est utilisée surtout par rapport dans le secteur d'agriculture. Mais là, la différence entre le multispectre et celle de RGB, c'est qu'il va analyser la lumière sur 4 à 10 bandes. Son utilité par rapport au domaine ferroviaire, c'est que surtout, il peut donner une idée par rapport à la densité de végétation. Alors, pourquoi le drone est-il important pour la sécurité ferroviaire? Alors, on a choisi 4 points phares qui sont l'inspection, la préservation, la sûreté et la vie humaine, et finalement l'évaluation de l'incident, d'accord, ou l'évaluation post-incident. Le premier point, bien sûr, où l'objectif c'est la finalité, plus ou moins c'est la partie inspection. Il peut détecter en temps réel et surveiller et inspecter en temps réel. Aussi, l'inspection peut être le jour comme la nuit et voir au-delà de la végétation. La partie préservation, alors on a dit que l'inspection, elle va détecter, d'accord. Après la détection, elle va déclencher des interventions. Des interventions peuvent être des maintenances. La maintenance, ça peut être une action qui est si courte, sans déclencher les maintenances qu'on appelle des maintenances mensuelles ou semestrielles. Là, ça va nous réduire bien sûr les coûts et ça va préserver la durée de vie des infrastructures. Le troisième point, c'est la sûreté et la vie humaine, parce qu'il va détecter les intrusions, il va anticiper les incidents, parce que bien sûr, lors de la détection de la présence de l'humain, on va alerter ou même interrompre le trafic, parce que bien sûr, on va prioriser la vie humaine en fin de compte. Et aussi, par rapport aux employés, on va voir un cas d'utilisation par rapport à ce point. Finalement, l'évaluation des post-incidents, il va aider à l'évaluation des dommages, aussi la cartographie et la zone d'incident, et finalement, il va être un guide aux équipes de secours, même aux équipes de maintenance. Alors, on a ici des cas d'utilisation par rapport au drone. On a choisi 5 cas d'utilisation avec un bonus, ce qui est la partie nocturne. Le premier cas d'utilisation, c'est la détection de la hausse température par rapport au caténaire. On a instauré la partie cause pour définir le plan d'action. Et là, on a instauré aussi la partie impact. ce qu'on va minimiser comme risque. D'accord? Alors, comme je disais, la première partie, c'est la détection de la haute température par rapport au caténaire. Bien sûr, les causes, c'est que ce soit les contacts qui vont être corrodés ou le desserrement des fixations, les impacts ou le risque qu'on peut minimiser par rapport à l'utilisation de... alors, ce module, c'est le module d'infrarouge ou le module thermique. Alors, si on a un dispositif de sûreté, ça va être une coupure d'électricité, mais non, ben, ça va avoir un incendie. Le deuxième point, toujours par rapport au module thermique ou infrarouge, c'est la détection d'une chaleur excessive par rapport à la voie. Et là, on parle des rails, on parle des moteurs d'aiguillage, on parle de tout un dispositif d'aiguillage. Bien sûr, par rapport aux causes, c'est le manque de lubrification, c'est la friction excessive, ou même si on a un dispositif d'aiguillage, c'est que le moteur de refroidissement, ça peut aller même à un dysfonctionnement. Voilà, les impacts par rapport aux rails, ça peut être des déformations. Même le pire des cas, un déraillement si on a un dysfonctionnement, comme je disais, de moteur d'aiguillage ou de dispositif d'aiguillage plus. Troisième des cas, c'est la détection des obstacles. Bon, là, ça peut être un acte malveillant par voilà, une personne ou ça dépend, bon, ça dépend des personnes. Et là, aussi, ça dépend aussi par rapport aux algorithmes derrière qui peuvent même détecter la présence d'un objet, mais aussi de l'identifier. L'impact, ça peut être des dommages significatifs ou plus ou moins même l'interruption du trafic. Cinquième cas d'utilisation, cas de figure, c'est par rapport à la détection des humains ou des animaux. Ça peut être un homme inconscient qui va traverser la voie, mais aussi ça peut être un employé qui n'est pas alerté. On ne peut pas dire un employé inconscient parce que déjà il est formé par rapport à la sûreté ferroviaire. L'impact, on a essayé de minimiser l'impact, mais on sait tous c'est quoi l'impact. Ça peut être que l'avion en danger de l'humain. Aussi la détection des dommages, que ce soit des fissures ou des usures des équipements. La partie fissure, c'est par rapport les ouvrages d'art. Là, comme je disais, ça peut être cause des conditions extrêmes de météorologie, mais aussi d'usure des équipements ferroviaires. L'impact allant de l'interruption du service jusque gravement les collisions. Et là, le dernier cas d'utilisation, c'est par rapport le mode nocturne qu'on peut déjà détecter quelques problèmes. Ça va être très très utile par rapport à la nuit et l'inspection dans l'obscurité. Alors, cette partie, on va parler surtout par rapport aux critères clés de sélection du drone. Alors, on essayait de la répartir sur 5 points. Le premier point, c'est par rapport à la partie matérielle, fonctionnement, partie logicielle. Alors, les 2 points qui restent, c'est la partie conformité et surtout la partie cybersécurité. Alors, par rapport à la partie matérielle, il faut vraiment prendre en considération la capacité de batterie, la partie stockage, parce que si on opte pour le troisième point qui est la haute résolution de caméra, ça va générer vraiment du stockage. Alors, on doit faire gaffe par rapport au stockage. Voilà. Ce qu'on appelle les puces ou les capteurs. Alors là, je parle de bon fonctionnement de drone, pas les modules. Quand je passe par rapport aux puces de localisation, c'est-à-dire qu'il doit être compatible avec les satellites, ou que ce soit GLONASS, Baidu. Et par rapport aux capteurs, c'est par rapport aux capteurs de proximité, gyroscope et les capteurs d'accéléromètre. Et aussi, comme je disais tout à l'heure, c'est par rapport à l'objectif ou la finalité. Vous devez vraiment choisir le module qui vous convient par rapport à votre objectif. Que ce soit le thermal, que ce soit le multispectre, ainsi de suite. Par rapport au fonctionnement, parce que le drone aussi, vous devez ou de prendre en considération quelques points de fonctionnement de drone. Il doit être résistant ou tolérant au vent. Aussi par rapport au sable, poussière, eau, humidité, plus ou moins, il doit être certifié par rapport à un indice de protection, minimum IP60 ou plus. La redondance des capteurs en cas de pire scénario que qui vont mal fonctionner dans une mission pour garantir bien sûr la réussite de cette mission. La distance de vol et aussi doit être résistant par rapport aux interférences électromagnétiques, l'exemple qu'il va inspecter au-dessus des caténaires. Et finalement, le troisième point par rapport à ce diapo, c'est la partie logicielle. On parle de logiciel de drone, logiciel de commande de drone, logiciel de traitement, d'accord, et finalement la compatibilité avec les systèmes internes, que ce soit les systèmes d'information géographique ou d'autres. Le quatrième point, c'est la partie conformité. Alors, il faut vraiment être conforme pour utiliser ou exploiter le drone. Depuis la première autorisation qui va être l'importation, parce que je dois apporter ce drone, par rapport à l'exploitation de drone, c'est-à-dire la partie vol, toutes les autorisations par rapport à l'aviation ou l'aéronautique, les autorisations territoriales, mais aussi les autorisations de la partie télécommunication. Alors, ça dépend de pays à un pays, mais il faut prendre en considération ces autorisations en fin de compte. Dernièrement, c'est les autorisations par rapport aux qui vont administrer la mission d'inspection. Il y a des qualifications, il y a des certifications derrière. La partie cybersécurité, parce que je vais en revenir, on a parlé de plusieurs logiciels, d'accord? Et là, le premier point, c'est que le prestataire qui va vous fournir le drone doit vous fournir aussi les rapports d'audit. Et on parle de plusieurs types ou typologies des audits, que ce soit des audits des tests d'intrusion, des codes sources, même des configurations, c'est-à-dire le durcissement de ces derniers, mais aussi l'audit d'architecture, parce que là, je vais revenir, la donnée va circuler depuis le drone jusqu'aux les systèmes internes. Je dois m'assurer que ces données sont sécurisées et il n'y a pas des risques d'intégrité de la donnée. Je dois aussi m'assurer que il y a un support des mises à jour, c'est-à-dire que les correctifs ou la gestion des vulnérabilités. Si j'opte aussi par rapport à l'hébergement des données chez le prestataire, je dois m'assurer que cette partie est plus ou moins sécurisée, que ce soit par rapport à la protection de cette donnée, que ce soit par rapport à la sécurité physique, ainsi de suite. Les sécurités d'accès, plus ou moins des protocoles sécurisés, la politique mot de passe aussi, on parle de MFA, on parle de plusieurs process. Ce point très très important, c'est la protection contre la falsification. Alors, un scénario qu'on peut l'illustrer, c'est que on a lancé une mission, mais le drone a été capturé, c'est-à-dire elle a été volée. Je dois m'assurer que même ce drone, dans le pire des cas, a été capturé ou volé, que la personne avec cet acte malveillant ne puisse pas capturer les données qui sont dans le drone, ne puisse pas falsifier ces données. Et finalement, ce prestataire que je vais opter pour acquérir ce drone, je dois m'assurer qu'il a une certaine maturité de cybersécurité. C'est-à-dire certifié 27001, certifié 27005, les chartes, ses obligations par rapport à la sécurité. Et voilà, dernièrement, c'est chose pour minimiser les risques d'intégrité, confidentialité, traçabilité et disponibilité. Merci. Je passe la parole.
Thank you, Radwan. First of all, thank you so much for your presentation, and it's a pleasure to be here with you at the UIC World Security Congress. Now that we have seen what drones are, why they matter for railway security, and the key criteria for selecting a drone, I will continue with an overview of the ONCF drone projects. At ONCF, our objective is not just to buy technology, but to prove its operational value for our specific network needs. So while we have already used drone external partner, we are now moving toward bringing these capabilities in-house and expanding them. To achieve this, we have launched a 6-month pilot program focused on 4 specific use cases. Surveying and mapping involve using drones to create accurate map and 3D model for our railways asset. infrastructure and civil engineering structures inspection to inspect tracks, bridge, and other structures to detect any maintenance needs early. And the third use case is safety and security to enhance security monitoring along the railway to ensure a safer and secure environment. And the fourth use case is construction site monitoring to keep an eye on construction's progress and to make sure projects stay on track. This pilot phase is all learning by doing before expanding across the whole network. To implement this project, we divided our approach into 4 components. First, the acquisition of the equipment, drones, and we have chosen three sensors, RGB cameras, and LiDAR sensor and thermal and multi-sensor camera, which include zoom and thermal camera. Second, it's a complete training program for NCF drones pilots covering regulation, safety, mission planning, practical flight, and directly NCF sites. And a third, we trained our team and data processing, including how to handle photogrammetry, LiDAR data, and thermal imagery, so they can turn real data into useful insight. And finally, we are ready to launch the pilot project this month, covering all of four use cases. In parallel with our piloted drone program, we are actually preparing to launch a proof of concept of an autonomous drone solution. So in this slide, you can see the difference between the two solutions. We have the mobile piloted drone who are flexible and can be deployed anywhere in the network, and they are great for detailed inspection in child area. They also are great for, they also have a possibility to capture multiple data because they offer multi-sensor capability, meaning we can switch between sensors depending on the mission. Meanwhile, we have the autonomous solution drone, which are stay fixed at fixed station and operate automatically, offering 24/7 coverage and immediate response and regular patrol in strategic sites. So overall, we can see both solutions complement each other and support a long-term security program. To conclude, as you see on the left, we do face some challenges, of course. We have regulatory and administrative constraints, weather and environmental condition, and of course how to manage the amount of data that we collect, including computer and storage. And finally, also we have change management and how to build internal expertise. But our vision in the future, in the right, is ambitious. So once this piloted mission are validated, we want to expand the use of operational drone, both piloted and autonomous, and also we want to integrate AI for automatic and risk detection. And our ultimate goal is to create a digital twin by this data. So thank you so much.
So thank you very much to the NTF team to make this presentation. It's amazing how you managed to tackle this technology of drones and how you analyze this technology and take it to make it a project and a proof of concept. And yeah, the ambition is very, very interesting. So thank you very much. So I'll leave the floor to Patrick and Jens from Deutsche Bahn. And the topic will be very different because we will talk about data and how they manage to combine a lot of data sources and build a strategic security intelligence platform. So, thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I opted to do this presentation because I want to give you a little bit of a different view. I think we have heard two very, very impressive, very technology-focused and very practical application-oriented presentation. I'm trying to combine this now or complete the picture, I could say, with a more management, leadership, decision-making oriented view, aggregating all of this data, aggregating all of this information, aggregating the powerful on-the-ground capabilities actually to this. Let me just see if I can. It's always the wrong one. Okay. If you give someone a pointer that has a big green button and he presses everything except that green button, that's user incapabilities. Okay. The iceberg problem. Let me guide you through this from a leadership view. There's 4 categories of information that you have. You have the known knowns, you have the known unknowns, you have the unknown knowns, and you have the unknown unknowns. What do I mean by this? From a security perspective, the known knowns are the easy challenges, right? You know where your problem is, you know how to tackle the problem or how to contain the problem, so you can build a resilience approach or you can build a robustness approach. So think about medieval times, you build a big wall because you can protect against the outside invaders, very clear where the threat is coming from, very clear what you do against it. Then you have the known unknowns. So you have knowledge that you have a weakness in a specific area. You're still fine because you know there is, for example, organized crime, and you know that the impact of organized crime will be in this area, in that field, in this dimension. So you can also prepare somehow for this. And then I come to this in a second. And then you have the unknown knowns and the unknown unknowns. So that is, you don't really know what your company knows, so you can't really act on all the information that is available in your company because it's fragmented, it's too big, it's not clear, it's unstructured. And then the worst weakness is the unknown unknowns. That's the stuff where you don't really know that this could be a problem because it has never happened, or it's a new technology, it's an emergent problem, or it's a change in society, for example. So known knowns is, we always historically have had the problem, and that's the big challenge for AI. It's a data problem. So as soon as you have sufficient data, there's a lot you can do with large language models, there's a lot you can do with machine learning, but you need to have sufficient amount of data. Otherwise, your situation report and your assessment of the scenario will always be incomplete, and you're actually just moving the problem. You're not really solving the problem from a leadership perspective. So DB, with more than 220,000 employees and about 100 different companies worldwide, and it sounds strange, but we are somehow everywhere, it has the problem that we are crossing legal boundaries, we're crossing geographical boundaries, we're crossing technology boundaries, because the one thing that I learned when I started at this company was that just because there's the same logo doesn't mean you use the same technologies or the same platforms, or you're even remotely able to communicate to one another. So you have different types of data, different types of recording. Again, this is not a new problem. So actually 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago, I studied computer science, and the main thing then was how to deal with unstructured data. So how to deal with stuff that you don't know what format it has. And honestly, it's the same problem still, what I'm talking about in security. Because you have all these different systems that can't talk to each other. You have always different formats, different types of events that seem uncorrelated, but in fact they really are. And what do I mean by this? I mean by this, you have to reduce the iceberg, and you have to reduce first and foremost the number of unknowns, or move the unknowns into either known unknowns or known knowns. And now I promise I will stop with these terminologies. But what you have to do first is, and all of you are sitting on a gold pile of data, because you have thousands of people in the field, you have thousands of trains out there, you have millions of hours on your tracks, you have all of this data, you have drones flying around, you have tens of thousands of cameras in your subways, so you have a big gold mine of data for every AI scientist. Problem is, a lot of it is old. You have 4K cameras, which are amazing, and then you have ancient, not even HD cameras somewhere else. You try to get them all together, and AI can actually help you do this, and this is what we did. So we created something which we call the CSP, the Corporate Security Platform, where we have been able to integrate all of these legacy systems as well as every new system that we are deploying, that we are adapting, that we are extending into one big framework where people can assess data about our assets, assess data of our video surveillance, assess data from within our trains, but first and foremost, assess knowledge of all our staff in the field. So we have deployed a platform to all our 220,000 employees, and actually several subcontractors as well by now, where they can report what they see. They can just take a picture, the system will automatically take all the information for them. It's not as sophisticated as the virtual language modeling that you guys have done, but it's getting there. They can just file a basic report. I've seen this, I've experienced that, I've observed this, and the system will take care of everything else for them. So we have an automated reporting, an automated improvement, an automated duplicate check, enhancement process, and all of these elements that makes the data valuable. Because I said data is the problem and lack of data is the problem. But nowadays we are more and more moving into the sphere where noise is the big problem. So you have useless garbage data, and you have so much overflow of information everywhere that the big little chunks of gold, they are just awash in the mud somewhere in the river, and you can't really find them. So you need to have some sort of detection, some sort of filtering system. So like the gold diggers in the past, you have to have some sort of method to approach this. And the main thing here is that AI is extremely powerful to help you do this. And it can allow not only for the operators, where it's extremely powerful, like you have shown, because they can suddenly reduce this overflow of information to only look at the one that is relevant, but you can also intercorrelate what you're finding. So you have the capability suddenly to say, okay, this might be boring data about weather information, for example, but because you can suddenly correlate weather information with violence incidents, and you can track the violence incidents to where specifically it is happening in your train station, you can take a very, very different approach. And for example, we are very, very closely monitoring soccer traffic, which is a big problem in Germany because we have all the soccer fans and they occasionally meet, sometimes intentionally, sometimes by accident. And when they meet, it's usually not so friendly. So the challenge is that we don't want them to fight in our train station. We don't want them to fight at all. But the main thing is that we have actually found that if the weather is bad or very hot, actually fighting gets worse. If there's specific train connections and they have too long layover time and it's in a train station where it's not well lighted and you have different security people at different areas, you can actually reduce the impact significantly. So suddenly you have more light on your unknowns and you are able to predict a little bit more where this can go. And that brings me a little bit also already to some of the deep dive into data. Because what we do is we take all of this information. We take weather information, we take incident reports, we take camera feeds, we take maintenance data, everything, we put it in, then we make sure with a large language model that it looks the same, so the AI later can compare and it doesn't have to do the translation. So we make, and this is important with AI, you need to make the problem simpler. Because everybody thinks, oh, ChatGPT is amazing and it does everything. But the problem is as soon as you increase the complexity of the challenge and as soon as the AI system has to undertake several steps, it will create actually problems and it will start hallucinating to overcome some of these problems. So you will never be able to fix this because it's an inherent problem of the technology. But what you are able to fix is if you compartmentalize the problem. So if you, for example, pre-improve the information and you make sure it's already using the same terminology, the same language, if you pre-improve and pre-structure the information, machine learning solutions that later try to label the events and the incidents, they have a much easier time doing this. But the big advantage for you is also you have transparency and traceability, so you can identify where the problem is coming from. Because one of the challenges with AI is you throw it in a black box, stuff comes out, and then you start searching, okay, why was it a false positive? Why did the guy look like he was punching the person on the video, but in fact he didn't? And how can you find out why this is happening? So a lot of this is, if you compartmentalize, you make the problem a bit more manageable. So we have all of this in our large language model. We have all of this analyzed and categorized and structured as the same data. And then we start finding these connections, and then we provide decision support. For example, to our Global Security Operations Center, to our maintenance people, to our security teams on the ground in the train stations, so to the police as well as our own internal teams. So we have both. We have it automated so much, thanks to our cooperation with the federal police, that actually it's just a few weeks from now, we are automatically filing police reports. So the entire maintenance backlog of having hundreds and hundreds of incidents, where you of course have to have a deterrent, and one deterrent is of course to bring it to the attention of the public, to bring it to the attention of the police, and the faster you can file the report, you can put pressure also, and the better you structure this in advance, so the faster it gets processed, the more effective it becomes. Very simple examples: vandalism, graffiti. If you go after them very quick, and you know they have this vandalism tourism, so if you go after them quick, you catch them before they actually disappear. So speed is a challenge, and speed is an opportunity. So we're doing this automatically. Works because you have good cooperation, and you can show the efficacy of what you do. So you can show it's actually doing what it's supposed to do, it's working. But also, as I say, because we now have even third-tier data sources, like the body cam input, voice or video in most cases, we can combine more elements to this, and we can use this and say it's already automatically attached to the police report, it's already transcribed automatically to the police report what is accessible in the file, it's already moved automatically into custody so that it doesn't get deleted after 30 days, because we have the same challenge as in France with the 30 days. It's all elements that you can do very, very quickly, and you are legally safe if you do it like this. And then we have a master dashboard. There's just some extracts on the right-hand side where our security people can actually see this. So, for example, when we build a new train station, we can take the learnings from the old train stations and say, usually it's this zone of the train station where you have the most conflict, or usually that's the flow of people through the train station. So usually the security issue is going to happen here. So put the security people maybe there. So you even have a predictive element that can make your life easier in the long run. Giving a little bit of outlook on this. What we're now doing is, as I said, we have internal data and it's fine. Now we're moving towards outside-in perspective. So we're working with different intelligence providers, giving us more information, either from the network, for example, SNCF, helping us with information, what they have experienced in their trains and their stations, but also specialized providers where we're doing monitoring of, for example, Telegram groups, and we get insights on whether these groups are now organizing and say, for example, okay, Antifa is starting a new activity and they're now using razor blades, and with the razor blades they have already hurt people in these and these countries, and this is the modus operandi. So we can put this in and learn from the system and teach the system quicker how to respond to this, how to detect this, and what others have successfully done to react to this. So our intention with this is that we can use the AI to merge this huge amount of data, and now I come back last time on my word, and reduce the unknown unknowns, because it suddenly gives us proposals on, this is a cluster I've identified, look at this. This is an area that seems to be more common. This is a correlation that seems to be significant. Have you looked at this? So, and we are able to then basically give our operations people, but also our decision makers, a much more valid argumentation and a much sounder footing on how to make these decisions, how to justify these decisions, and how to act on this, so that we, in an ideal world, get a 360-degree view of what's going on in our company, what's going on around us, and what are the interdependencies between the internal and the external world, so that we can become, it says here on the slide, more resilient, but actually, lately I feel that the best term is, it's a combination of resistance and resilience. So, and maybe that's a good closing statement for this, because resilience always has this element of passiveness, right? So you kind of react fast to something. So you are in a reaction mode. And we do not want to go into the predictive policing. That's not what I say, because there's a lot of risk in that. But the idea of combining resistance and resilience so that your system is able to absorb shocks because your impact is reduced, your impact is contained. And a lot of the events, like I just described, you can already channel them, maybe not prevent them entirely, but channel them into an area where they don't have so much impact. They don't block so many of your trains. They don't endanger lives. They maybe just cause a bit of damage. So you can already reduce. So the building is, in a way, shaking to absorb the shocks of the earthquakes. It's not so stringent and so robust that it cracks in the foundation. And then you have the resilience element coming in so that you repair quickly, you recover quickly, you learn from it, so your resistance gets better from every impact. So a little bit it's what Taleb called anti-fragility from now 15 years ago, I think, but it still holds a lot of truth. Thank you for your attention.
So thank you, Patrick. I think it was really impressive to discover the way you managed to increase your data management in Deutsche Bahn. And the next step also are amazing. I mean, working with OSINT and implementing more AI, it's something we should all do. So thank you very much. So I will now leave the floor to Carlos from ADIF, and we'll have a presentation about artificial intelligence to enhance security in station. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Messenger. It's a really honor for me to be here with you all in this remarkable city and this beautiful country. I will talk today about how we, green one. How we are working with the AI in the way to enhance the station security and also connect it with other departments. Let me first introduce you a little background of my company, of ADIF. ADIF is the rail infrastructure manager. It's a public company attached to the Ministry of Transport and Sustainable Mobility, and is responsible for design, construction, supervision, maintenance of the rail network, as well as network traffic management and capacity allocation. We also manage some freight stations. Let me share with you some key figures about our network. These figures provide an overview of the network's complexity and the competitive landscape of high-speed operations in Spain. We are managing a rail network of 15,000 plus kilometers. 4,000 of them are high-speed network. And nowadays we are developing a new 1,800 new high-speed track. We also manage 1,500 train stations with a workforce of 13,500 people. Our railway network also includes some multiple track gauges, standard UIC, Iberian, and Meteor gauge lines in the northern region, as you can see here with different color in the map. We have international connections, 3 with Portugal, also with France, covering both high-speed and Iberian gauge lines. High-speed services also have been liberalized recently, and 4 operators are currently working in our network. These are Renfe, the main operator with its low-cost brand Ablo, also Irio, and Wigo is from the SNCF group. So recently we took a corporate decision. Equip the high-speed train stations with breakthrough technology to use them as a model for the future. So we started testing it at some of our main train stations, high-speed train stations. These high-speed train stations are equipped with hundreds of cameras giving full visual coverage of all operational areas. With AI-based processing, video is transformed into actionable data, supporting not only security, but also station management, traffic operations, maintenance, and commercial activities. What began as a security-focused project quickly expanded as other departments recognized its potential and got actively involved with our security department. Today, the system delivers real-time situational awareness, automates alerts, and detects passengers' patterns, enabling faster and more informed decision-making. Overall, we are moving from a reactive approach to a predictive model across multiple operational domains. To make this possible, it required an upgrade of our network architecture, moving from the original client-server model from 2010 or so to one with greater bandwidth and centralized systems. It allows us to integrate very different solutions, making the system ready for future expansions and technological evolution. It drives exponential improvements in service quality while significantly reducing operation costs. And it delivers filtered, structured data that we can turn into actionable insights for decision-making and process automation. It guarantees redundancy across energy, data storage, telecommunication, and other critical systems. And we also leverage edge computing, bringing processing power directly to each train station instead of relying on a single central data center. This boosts performance, scalability, and overall resilience for our system. So this is not just a video management system for us. It's a single software platform that brings together signals from all kinds of sensors and devices across ADIF stations. One platform with multiple interfaces, each designed for specific operational roles. It integrates multi-brand sensors, offers marketplace capabilities, and remains intuitive and easy to use. And each user can work with a personalized interface, with processes already integrated, acting as a unified layer over all functional applications. The underlying technology that supports this is, in one hand, data integration and big data processing. Integrates a large number of devices and sensors across a deep station, as mentioned before with my colleagues. There's a lot of data. Big data enables processing, filtering, and interaction with diverse data from multiple devices. AI training with video data. System is trained with thousands of hours of video from both ADIF cameras and public sources. Each image is processed and labeled to create patterns for future analysis. For example, we developed from the scratch custom data sets for wheelchair detection. And the fourth pillar, digital twins and predictive analysis. ADIF leverage its sound building information models for digital twins. Combining VIM with AI knowledge allows simulation of passengers' behavior and stress under stress of emergency scenarios or train stations. Supports real-life decision-making and enhance the traveler experience. With this context in mind, we will now show a video that illustrates the use case and system functionality we have been testing and tracing. Okay. Now. Okay. The red button? Okay. Now. Crowding, the system sends notification when crowding occurs, allowing us to act, for example, moving passengers from the boarding hall to the platforms. Special anomalies is like a person with the text peer around passengers, so operation can be adapted when necessary. Abandoned items, it identifies potential owners and helps track the items movement for further investigation. Also, it detects wrong way flowed people. This is the security checkpoint from high-speed lines. And the system detected people going backwards. Now let's focus on our use cases where real AI algorithms are actively operating across ADIF railway stations. The system can detect different traveler behavior, as I mentioned before, a key milestone that we are very proud of. We have trained it to recognize normal behavior patterns, enabling to trigger alerts whenever anomalous behavior or unusual trajectories are detected. As I mentioned, not only in the checkpoints, people going backwards, also to prevent fraud in the commuter trains. The results have been outstanding, and some occasions the system have even surprised us by identifying new patterns that had not been anticipated. Real-time people counting and flow. That's one thing that the commercial department and station management department really fast get into this project because they noticed that this information we provide is really useful for them. Passenger counting is structured hierarchically. As I mentioned, we define a main area of interest, which can be further divided into smaller zones, and these zones can be subdivided even more. This hierarchical approach allows us to analyze data from a single zone or aggregate multiple zones for a more comprehensive view. The system supports not also crowding prediction, real-time crowd monitoring, and flow tracking, using virtual lines wherever necessary to follow traveler movements. This information is then leveraged to generate heat maps, offering a clear and intuitive visualization of station dynamic and passenger behavior. For instance, if this store or commercial area is crowded, or in which entrances are the most common use for people, or which commercial stores are more often visited for passengers, and so on. The system can track persons of interest as many other AI-based security software in real time, as well as supporting forensic analysis, making a highly valuable tool for police and security operations. It operates, that's important for us, without collecting any personal data or biometric data, ensuring full compliance with Spanish and European data protection regulations. As mentioned earlier, the system can also detect unattended packages, identify the potential order, and monitor them throughout the station, providing actionable information to security personnel for quick and effective response. The tool, well, you know how it works. It shows and detects an item that is abandoned. The last person who moved it, it detects it, and will locate the time it happened to launch a new investigations. These are the different layers, the different interfaces that can be tailored to every department can use this data. We have the security center operator have all the full visualization of all camera feeds and security alerts. Includes forensic analysis and capabilities for incidents investigations. But we have different interface for the station's manager. It displays heat maps for different areas of the station, shows a timeline of occupancy across the station, and helps data-driven decision for allocating resources such as cleaning, teams, and customer service staff. We are also very proud of this interface with the PRM informations that helps our brand. A department of our company is Adifa Cerca. It's a free assistance and accessibility service for passengers with disabilities or reduced mobility at the stations. With this system, they can check where the resources are, when the people with disabilities are, so they can merge them together and have the passengers. So we are transforming the station management system with this test we are doing in 6 main train stations, high-speed train stations. We have built a flexible, scalable, and robust system that is both innovative and disruptive for us. It processes massive volumes of data in real time, achieving over 93% of accuracy in all algorithms during testing, with a target of 99% or higher. The system is capable of addressing specific operational needs across a diff station without any defined area of interest. At the core are the stakeholders, operations, security, sales, traffic management, and railway operators. By connecting these departments, we enhance safety, comfort, and service quality for all travelers. Technology plays a key role, providing scalable, integral solutions built on open architectures. Together, these elements lay the foundation for the future of station operations, resulting in improved passenger experience and more efficient management. This represents the foundation for the future of station operations in our company, I guess, and that future is beginning now with many exciting possibilities. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Carlos, for showing us how AI can really transform the station management. It's really impressive, and we can see that there is a lot of components to develop. So, yeah, combining all of those for station management is very interesting. I think, unfortunately, we are running a bit out of time for the question and answer. So I propose we have the pitch from the major sponsor of the event. And afterwards, if you have questions, of course, during the break, we will be there to answer to any question you can have. So I would like to welcome the sponsors. So we're going to have a pitch from Huawei, from Honeywell, and from SIT. That's up to you. Who wants to start? So just pitch 3 minutes and throw it out.
So I'm representing CITE SPA. It's an Italian company, Italian capital. We are 3,100 resources. We have a turnover around 550 million, active on some different business. Sorry, it was not foreseen, so there is not a slide, but I will try to explain. So we are active in railway. Regarding the signaling, we can give a full turnkey system, including signaling, telecom, and energy. Here, for example, in Morocco, we have in this moment three projects. One is the old one, is to cover all the network system, line for the GSMR. The new one has been awarded some month ago, so we have in charge the GSMR for the Kinitra Marrakesh line, and we are in another JV together with two companies, one company Signon and the other GCF, and we take in charge all the signaling, telecom, energy scope. As a CITE, we have the responsibility of telecommunication, DVDM and PRSAP, and we have all the energy, CADI, and also the cybersecurity, of course, also civil works for 200 kilometers. The technologies are for all the line for 130 kilometers. Then we have another division that is for the telecommunication. Telecommunication means for us operators, so it's the main scope of the company because we born like a spin-off of Italian telecommunication company. Inside to telecommunication, we have also a smart solution, smart bridge, smart road. Then we have a division for the energy. Energy, we are able to give turnkey to the client from low voltage, medium, and high speed, and high voltage. Recently, we bought a company that make the high tension works. And it was a small company, Italian, but they didn't have a lot of money to develop outside, abroad. And now, after 3 years, we are around 300 million just with this company. Again, for the railway, we are able to support like a system integrator all the activities, using also all the tools necessary for supporting the system integration, like BIM, because today is becoming a standard. All the tools for the radio coverage, for the GSMR, for the FMCS is okay. So many thanks. Thank you.
Alors bonsoir tout le monde. Donc je représente la société Honeywell. Donc Honeywell, c'est une multinationale américaine spécialisée dans les technologies, la fabrication de technologies. On est aussi intégrateur de solutions complexes. Donc vous avez dû entendre tout au long des présentations les différentes solutions qui existent et que la technologie, l'intelligence artificielle, la digitalisation ne sont plus juste une tendance dans le rail, dans le monde du ferroviaire, mais c'est une nécessité très très importante. D'accord. Donc pour résumer un petit peu, pour ne pas revenir dans tous les... Alors, voilà. Juste pour résumer, donc ce qu'on peut offrir en tant qu'Honeywell, c'est toutes les solutions que vous avez déjà vues, à partir de la vidéo analytique, de l'intelligence artificielle, des drones, des systèmes d'une plateforme qui va gérer l'ensemble des solutions, notamment donc un centre de commande qui peut gérer plus d'une centaine de systèmes différents, pas que du Honeywell, mais toute autre marque, est capable d'intégrer donc tous ces systèmes avec de l'intelligence artificielle. Donc les mots-clés sont intégration, donc un système qui va intégrer tous ces systèmes-là, la communication entre ces systèmes-là, donc tous ces systèmes ont un protocole de communication différent, donc il est important de marier et de faire correspondre ces protocoles de communication. Parfois ils peuvent communiquer avec le même protocole de communication, mais ils ne se comprennent pas, donc ils ont besoin de l'intelligence artificielle pour adapter ce protocole de communication qui est le même avec l'autre système afin de pouvoir réaliser un certain use case. L'anticipation, donc c'est tout ce qui est par exemple maintenance préventive. Donc vous avez tous dû connaître des mécaniciens qui ont plus d'une trentaine d'expériences dans le monde de la voiture. Et simplement en touchant la voiture, en écoutant les vibrations, ils connaissent un petit peu et ils ont un diagnostic rapide. Donc aujourd'hui, avec de l'intelligence artificielle, on a pratiquement la même chose. Donc, à travers des capteurs de vibration, de son, etc., nous sommes capables de faire des diagnostics rapides et prévoir les maintenances qu'il faut par la suite. Ensuite, donc tout ça, vous avez entendu aussi la partie cybersécurité. Donc la cybersécurité, vous connaissez tous la cybersécurité IT, mais nous, chez Honeywell, on a aussi ce qu'on appelle la cybersécurité OT, Operation Technology, et IoT, pour les objets connectés. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, la cybersécurité, ça évolue. C'est pas que des cyberhacks Internet. Ils peuvent se connecter sur une caméra, sur un automate industriel, sur un automate de signalisation et hacker tout le système. Donc aujourd'hui, chez Honeywell, on est capable de fournir des solutions de cybersécurité adaptées. Tout ça dans un seul centre de commande et qui va aller gérer tous les incidents d'une seule manière. Chaque opérateur que vous voyez ici, il a un flot d'incidents qu'il va gérer avec des Standard Operating Procedures. Et pour chaque incident, à chaque fois qu'il clique dessus, la géolocalisation va montrer l'emplacement de l'incident et la caméra de surveillance relative la plus proche à cet incident va s'afficher sur l'écran. Et donc, il y a une certaine homogénéité et synchronisation entre toutes les actions avec un seul système de supervision au niveau. Voilà. Merci beaucoup.
Bonjour tout le monde, moi c'est Youssef Bouarras, je suis IT Solution Manager à Huawei. Donc je pense que quelques personnes peuvent connaître Huawei à travers les téléphones portables, ou bien les smartwatches, ou bien même les voitures à conduite autonome. On a aussi une autre division, ce qu'on fait avec les opérateurs. Récemment, on a lancé la 5G au Maroc avec les 3 opérateurs, donc c'est notre département historique. Mais nous avons aussi un autre département que je représente, c'est le département Enterprise. On est, je pense, le seul constructeur qui est capable de vous assister pour des solutions ICT de bout en bout. Donc, on peut vous accompagner pour construire vos data centers, parce que nous avons des data centers modulaires, nous avons des data centers mobiles sur des conteneurs, nous avons des IT racks qui viennent all-in-one avec la clim, avec les UPS, avec le contrôle d'accès. On peut vous accompagner, donc une fois que vous construisez vos data centers, on peut vous accompagner pour des solutions IT, pour la partie compute, pour les solutions de virtualisation, pour des baies de stockage convergées et unifiées, pour des solutions de backup qui intègrent intuitivement des solutions anti-ransomware. On peut vous accompagner aussi sur la partie networking pour les solutions de firewall, les solutions des switches, des solutions de points d'accès qui intègrent des modules de IoT. Et pour parler de votre industrie, on a déjà fait des belles références avec l'ONCF pour le WDM, pour la transmission en fibre optique. On a fait aussi un projet pour le GSMR, pour la transmission radio. Et on a récemment parce que c'est vrai qu'on a parlé de cybersecurity, mais je pense qu'il est aussi important dans cette industrie, c'est la sécurité physique. Parce que il faut sécuriser les périmètres, il faut sécuriser toute la ligne des chemins de fer. Donc déjà, on a les caméras de vidéosurveillance avec le AI embarqué. Et nous avons aussi des solutions de fibre optique. C'est un Optic Sense qui permet de sécuriser les périmètres avec la fibre optique. Bien sûr, c'est moins coûteux et c'est très accurate, c'est très précis. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de fausses alertes à cause, par exemple, de la météo ou bien à cause des petits animaux. Et ce qui est bien dans cette solution, c'est qu'elle est intégrée automatiquement avec la caméra. Donc, par exemple, s'il y a une alerte ou bien une intrusion, la caméra va se diriger directement vers la personne avec une précision très, très accurate. Donc, si vous voulez voir ces solutions, vous pouvez nous rejoindre. On est là aujourd'hui et demain. Donc, vous êtes les bienvenus.
Thank you very much. So I will conclude very quickly. For conclude, I would say you see innovation is everywhere. It's true for the railway industry, but it's also true for the security industry. I hope that, and thank you for all the panelists. I hope that all the presentations were interesting for you and inspiring you for your innovation in all your companies. And of course, we remain available during the break. I don't know how much time of break we keep.
20 minutes.
Okay, so we have 20 minutes of breaks, meaning we come back at 5:40. No, 4:40. Sharp, please. So thank you very much, and thank you.